All right, and to cap off the show, we're going to review The Invisible Man. He's joining me for yet another review. Turns out he doesn't just do comic book movies, he also reviews horror movies as well. So, what The Invisible Man follows, it follows a young woman who is running away from her abusive ex-husband, or ex, were they married?
No.
Okay, I was going to say, I don't remember a ring on her finger. So it follows this young woman running from her abusive ex, when she later learns that not only has her abusive ex committed suicide, but she's also inherited $5 million from him. And after learning about this, things are nice and hunky-dory for a little while, until she starts feeling, or claiming to feel, his invisible presence following her and haunting her wherever she goes. And I emphasize invisible presence because what it actually turns out to be, I don't want to give away. So, what was your impression coming out of this one, Jordan?
Wow. Just wow. I never felt so shocked, terrified to go to bed. And I slept. I'm not gonna lie. I really checked my corners.
Yeah, you're gonna be checking behind yourself. I feel like I'm in the mob, just like constantly looking behind my shoulder, like I got a price on my head because of this movie. But no, this movie very much exceeded my expectations. One of the things that actually lowered my expectations for this movie originally was, of course, that A, it came out in February, and B, I work in the city, and everywhere I go, every taxi cab, every billboard in Penn Station or whatever, they have the posters for these movies, basically saying like, "Oh, he's right behind you. He's in the car with you." And I'm like, this is so stupid. This movie's gonna suck now. But I was wrong. I was so wrong. This movie ends up being so much smarter than I originally thought for it to be. Now, this is based on the
1897 novel by
H.G. Wells. So now, you actually read this novella, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I read part of it. I mean, I know the plot. I mean, everyone knows the plot. The original book is completely different from this, which is something I appreciate.
Okay.
Because the original book, I mean, I don't want to say it because it's technically, if I say it, then it's going to kind of count as a spoiler. Mm-hmm. Because obviously, this is nothing like the original book. This is a modern take on it. The original book, what I will say, did not involve a relationship.
Okay.
It did not involve that. It involved, the man, same name and everything,
mm-hmm.
just a completely different concept of the whole invisibility concept.
So, being how this is obviously a much different twist on the original story, one of the things I want to focus on now, or at least transition to, is how this movie was adapted for the big screen. And I think, honestly, the adaptation is one of the things that makes this movie so strong. The characterization all around is terrific. At least I cared about just about everybody in the film. Not so much the sister, if I'm being honest, but then again, she wasn't in the film as much. She wasn't as big of a role. But I cared about Elisabeth Moss's character, Cecilia Cash. She's obviously this nervous, terrified woman. She's just scared of just leaving the house. Even before she finds out, or at least starts feeling her ex's presence haunting her. She's still terrified to go outside of her house.
I have to say, that's the great thing about her performance, because throughout the first half of this, well, actually throughout the whole movie, for most of it anyway, you really felt like she really, like, is she all there mentally? Because after something like that, you're obviously going to suffer from PTSD. Anyone will suffer from PTSD from something like that, especially when you go through an abusive relationship that she had. And it just made you really think, like, is this just all in her head? I mean, we're not going to say whether or not she did.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I felt like that.
Yeah, it was... I like how it kind of kept you guessing in that department, at least for a little while. But then when you find out just exactly what it is, I feel like a lot of movies would screw this up. It would feel like more cartoonish, and then this movie doesn't do that. With the surrounding characteristics of her ex, it all kind of makes sense. Yeah. It works so much better than I would originally think.
And that reveal that they did was executed perfectly.
Yep.
Wow.
Now, since you mentioned the word execution, one of the things, I think the thing that this movie has going for it the most is its execution, just of how much its execution and how it's physically made. Because one of the things that stands out so much about this movie is not only just how scary it is, like, it's a legitimately scary movie, but the suspense throughout is, that's shredded on my nerves.
Because you know what it is? It's the little things that you see happen.
Yep.
That makes it all the more scary. And it really makes you think, like,
Yeah, like and they filmed a lot of this in wides too. There were a lot of like really impressive wide and really long takes too. That I felt like if they cut more, that would have taken away some of the suspense. But since the camera kind of lingers there for a while, you're kind of forced to focus more on like the little details in the frame. And when you see something just slightly out of place, or even more so, then it gets you even more.
Oh, yeah. Especially that one scene where when she finds out.
I'm drawing a blank right now. She finds out
the truth.
There are a lot of truths. That doesn't narrow it down enough for me.
Now that I think about it. Yeah, anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move. It was good. It was good. It was good how they did it, but no, it was. One of the things that I will say too is that one of the things that was most terrifying about this movie is her ex's presence, and he's not even on screen. And the fact that he's as scary as he is, when we really don't see him, that's pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah, especially because you know what? In the beginning of the movie, you get the feel for it.
Yeah.
You get to see, everyone in action so far. I mean, that's how it is in every movie. In the beginning, you just get to see all these characters. You get to see who they are and what they're like and stuff. And after you see that guy, and you don't see him after that, but you just feel him there. He's just like creeping up on you. It's like a spider just creeping up right down your back. You're not really sure if it's there or not. It grips you. You feel that fear. It's like you're just stuck. You feel like there's no way out. You're just cornered. Honestly, I hate to use this analogy, but it's like a mime in the box.
I guess the math carry the one. Yeah, I guess that analogy works.
It's a terrible analogy, but I don't know how else to describe it.
But no, like I said, this movie is a masterclass in suspense, just from how it's told to even just how they utilize the cinematography to capitalize on the suspense. And it, of course, has a very modern feel for it. It's very scary, very suspenseful. The one gripe that I had with this movie, the CGI, and I think you know what I'm talking about without giving away too much. The CGI took me out of it at some points, but it definitely wasn't enough to drag the movie down too much. Like this movie was very, very well made on pretty much all accounts. Performances around were excellent. Execution was terrific. The musical score, too, really amps things up as well. Benjamin Wallfish, however you say his name, did a terrific job with that. Really adds a lot. It doesn't just feel like background noise. It feels like something that's there to like build up the suspense, and it works so well. So, I'm going to give this movie a 91.
I got to give this movie a 95.
95, damn.
Yeah.
Trying to 4-up me. Okay, I see how it is.
If I'm being honest, that CGI, I mean, listen, it had its moment where it was like, okay, that's clearly not real. Mm-hmm. But for me, I was just too scared I didn't take it away.
It's like, you know what, there's too much else going on right now for it to drag it down too much. So, honestly, it's definitely not enough to tank the movie. It's not even close, because this movie just has so much going for it. Performances all around, like I said before, were absolutely terrific. And honestly, what I will say, Elisabeth Moss in particular, if her performance wasn't as strong as it was, this movie would have tanked.
Oh, absolutely. Without her... Actually, honestly, without the villain too.
Yes.
Without him too.
That's more of a character thing, if anything, more than a performance.
Yeah, but without his character and without her performance, this movie would have flopped.
Yeah. So honestly, great stuff. Definitely, I highly recommend seeing The Invisible Man. It's definitely, as far as movies to be released at the beginning of the year, I'm not gonna lie, we're not having too bad of a year so far. This was really good. Gentleman was really good. Sonic the Hedgehog was much better than expected. So, yeah, maybe maybe we're coming out of a dry spell when it comes to movies coming out at the beginning of the year. I don't know. I could say that, and then the next movie I see could just be total dog shit. But anyway, Jordan, I'd like to thank you very much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime. If it's one thing that I'm realizing more and more is that this is much more fun when I have someone doing certain segments with me. So I appreciate you coming on, taking the time out of your day to do this with me. So for all you guys watching, I'm sorry I took a little longer to give you the next episode, but like I said, not much happened within the last couple weeks. that, like I said, that I actually felt like talking about. So continue to like, follow, subscribe on YouTube, search us up on Spotify, and until next time, I'm Joe Acierno. This has been Real Talk.